Awesome. We'll wait for a few, see if anyone joins, and then we can go ahead and get started.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I'll just give it a few minutes. Julie, you're in California, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Where are you?
Texas.
Okay, cool. Where in Texas?
Fort Worth.
Okay.
So
Okay, cool.
DFW. And Gabi's all the way in Washington, D.C. It's like the time change. I always have to figure out the time for everyone. So
Oh, we're in 3 time zones right
I
now.
know, right? Awesome. Well, hi everyone. I'm Shannon, and today we have Julie, who is the founder of the Connected Parent site, which we're really excited to collaborate with. They have a really awesome opportunity to do some fundraising for DEEP, and so I'm gonna let her take over and just tell. I'd love to hear your story, Julie, like how you came up with this idea, your background, as it involves like disability and yeah. So go ahead and let us know your story.
Okay, I will make it short if
Sure.
I can.
Yeah, short as you can.
Short is not my strength, but I'm going to make it short. So growing up, my mom had schizoaffective disorder and experienced a lot of homelessness in my childhood and with my mom, and she's a dual diagnosis. And I remember going through phone books, and it was just very hard to get help for my own family. And so I advocated for my mom from a very young age, and I still do to this day. And what I found, so years later, my daughter was born with a rare disease. And I started having the same problems that I was having, finding resources, fighting systems, etc. But it was like 20 years later. And so I just, I guess, I wanted to be, I've always been an advocate, right? But I just felt like in the year that we're in, we didn't have the right tools for that. And that's not a new story for sure. Like this is not a new idea. It's very basic, actually. I've talked to so many parents running the PCDH19 Alliance, which is a rare epilepsy organization that I founded with some other parents. I've been running that for like 12 years. And I just keep hearing the same thing. And that we need this. There should be one place. There should be, and it was like the only difference between me and anyone else that thinks this should exist is that I invested the down payment for a home into building this. I invested my total life savings and into creating this for us and seeing if it's really going to work for what our community needs. And so I think we all kind of have the idea that this should exist and that we need it, but it was just the execution is the
Yeah,
difference.
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's for sure a lot of a lot of work.
You
We're
would
a
know.
small team.
Yeah.
And another thing I guess that is important to me, we are owned and operated by disability families. Most of us here are impacted by rare epilepsies, definitely by rare disease. I myself am autistic, and both of my children are also neurodivergent, as well as my daughter has a rare disease. It was very important, and my daughter works here. And it was very important. She's
I
16
love that.
that we, our community, own this. It's kind of a proof of concept, kind of how, the very important right, nothing for us without us. And I really felt strongly about that. So that's we are a very mission-based company, but we're not a nonprofit.
Yeah, I love that. And I love there's opportunity for your daughter to work. And I'm sure as you guys expand other people with disabilities, that's just amazing. So, well, we'd love to see you go through the site and just, simply like walk through it and tell people what it is and how to use it. And yeah, which I
Sure.
loved when Julie did this for me. I was like amazed. I'm like, this is so cool. So I know this is very well needed in our community. So
Cool. Let me go ahead and
share your screen. Hopefully everything.
share my screen.
Perfect. It looks
Okay.
great.
So this is the home page, and if you're logged in, you can see me up here. This is going to have my zip code. So when somebody first comes to the site, as long as they're logged in and the accounts are all free, we are never going to charge families for anything. They can search for free. Basically, it's going to come up with everything near me. Because what we heard when we first developed this from our user feedback was, I just want to see all the things. I don't even know what I'm looking for. I just want to know, my child's newly diagnosed, what's near me? And so these are all the things. So this is like a hair salon that will do a sensory-friendly haircut. They have a specific studio. This is a specialized cab that will, they have special training for working with people who have developmental disabilities or who are autistic. My daughter took that cab. So anyway, there's all sort of different places listed. Some have reviews yet because we're newer. Some don't have reviews, lots of inclusive parks. But what you can do as of today, because I think I may have mentioned this, the site's completely changing. We have some great updates coming. But for right now, like let's say you didn't even know what you didn't know. You could come here and just discover things and be like, well, what are the things in legal and advocacy? Oh, I could get an education advocate. Oh, that's cool. I need help with the school. Don't we all?
Mm-hmm.
Or you could basically search for the different resource types. I just did something and everything on my, oh, okay, got it. Then I could do like environmental, like modifications and accessibility, just to kind of see like service animals, like what do they have if you don't even know kind of what you're looking for, different kinds of therapy. Um, these are California specific programs. You don't need to, that's very specific to that state. Haircuts, camps, after school programs, social skills, restaurants, all this stuff. Beaches. I think we have one of the largest listings of beaches with wheelchairs. So where you can do rentals and things like that, accessible adventures. We actually partner with accessible adventures. And so if you're looking to travel, anyone can be tagged with that, but it's for traveling. Medical, you can neurologists, optometrists, neurosurgeons, skilled nursing, etc. Different categories, and all the educational stuff, non-public schools are very near and dear to my heart. And then adult, because we know, sometimes when you become an adult, you kind of fall off that cliff. And so we made it a priority to make sure that we had as much as we could find kind of smattered in here that we put in from the beginning. So a lot of this stuff it's crowdsourced essentially from our community, from other families. If you wanted to, let's say you lived in a rural area and you didn't have much near you, you could select online, right? And just see, well,
Oh,
maybe I
okay.
can get some therapy online. Maybe there's some things that also will serve me online. So you can find things that way if you're in an area with not a lot of resources. And then also we have sensory friendly. That's really important to, I think, have the reviews for that, because what's sensory friendly to one of my kids may not be sensory friendly to my other child. Like sensory friendly can be very subjective depending on your sensory needs. So that's why, something might be listed as sensory friendly, but I want to go in and read that review from somebody else, what that means to them. We have universal changing tables, and then wheelchair accessible. Ages, insurance, languages spoke, neurodiversity affirming. That was something very important to me as a neurodivergent person myself. And we worked with a speech therapist, Miss Speechy P. She's very interested in neurodiversity affirming therapy and educating people about that. And we created like, what is our definition of that? If we're going to have people say that they are, what are they agreeing to, so that
Mm-hmm.
they're not just using that word because it's popular. So we have a whole, you would click on this and we have our own definition of what that means. This is because I put in my zip code. I'm going to get very specific things for my zip code as well. Like this program is a program near my zip code for people who have developmental disabilities. And like the regional center in California, again, very specific. So depending on where you live, if we've done that yet, you might have some local programs that you can tap into as well. And these are like things that basically my daughter can get for free of cost.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And
and
that's a big part of the site as well, is that you're needing families to write reviews and to add businesses. And that's a big thing about making this successful, right? Is us coming together as a community.
Yes, definitely. It's all of us working together, putting in, writing reviews, what worked for me, what didn't work for me, because that's how we all find that information. And it's great to have it written in one place. Like, I love my groups, my online groups. I love them, and I've been running one for like 12 years. But oftentimes you're answering the same question a lot of times about like your neurologist, and I felt like, gosh, if I could just answer it once, then and it could live here, then everyone could read it whenever they needed it. Even if they didn't want to be on social media, they could come here and just kind of be in their zone and read the reviews that they want. If they don't want, if the rest of it might be overwhelming at times.
Right.
Yeah. So here you could read, like, this is a hair salon. It's not gonna, but you could read about, that's my username. You can create a username also, or use your real name. It doesn't matter, however you want to do it. And then see the location, and then it's gonna suggest other things near you. If you see something wrong, you can suggest an edit. If you are the business, you can claim it. Um, you can
That's
also,
another part, right, of this is businesses are able to join.
yep, they can join for absolutely for free. They can list their profiles. They can select all their areas of specialization. And we really encourage businesses to join. We have a program for businesses that we do where we send them materials and things like that when they join, if they want them, to help them promote us and to get reviews as well. You can
Great.
also save resources. So like these are restaurants that I know are like wheelchair accessible or inclusive, executive functioning coach. Yes, everyone in my house needs one of those. Camps to call. So you can just make lists of things that you want, like travel ideas, things like
Kind of
that.
like a favorite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you can also save your search. That's important. So you can save a search for any of your different filters. So let's say there's not a adaptive dance class in your area or something you're looking for, save it. And then as soon as there is one, somebody enters one, you'll get an alert that there's a new thing that you were looking
Oh,
for.
super cool.
And that works for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have, if you want to see, so then you can, we have my account. So this is me. I use a username just for fun. I might change it back, but your username will always be like what your URL is, so you can share. Anyone who wants to follow me will be able to read all my reviews. So Violet has PCDH19. So you'll see that, a lot of my hashtags are autism or PCDH19. Those are also hashtags that go with my account. So they'll auto-populate when I'm reviewing, and I can edit them if I want to. And that's a great way, like, to find a neurologist that specializes in PCDH19, which isn't, is not going to be every neurologist. I can see if I have any replies from places I've reviewed here, if they write back to me and say, thank you for writing such a nice review, or, why were you so grumpy about us, or whatever they write. And so I can also like edit reviews, and then I can find people as well. So I can make new connections. I can type in this is one of my hashtags. So, okay, if I wanted to find people that were near me that had PCDH19, for example, like in my zip code, or just people in my state, they have to opt in to that. So
Mhm.
you have to opt in to being able to be found by your hashtags and searched in the database. Everyone will have just their review showing, but privacy is important to us.
Yeah. No, and that's another way just to build community. That's super. I'm all obviously I'm in love with this. I'm like, I think it's so cool. And I just want more people to get on board and start doing reviews. I think that it's so useful. I know you guys that we've compared you to Yelp, and that's a thing you've told me too. And it really is. I mean, we've all done that. Looked at the restaurant on Yelp and you're like, they don't have any reviews, don't know about it, not sure. But if you see one with tons of reviews, you're like, I trust this. And so I think that's so important for us all to get on and just start. even just start with your favorite things. Like you mentioned the adaptive dance, like that's something I was looking for my daughter. And I eventually found one through the community, but it would have been so much easier if I could just go to a place and look it up because it was very
Yes.
difficult to actually find something for her.
And that was kind of the impetus. Like when I finally, you toss around the idea, and then we almost didn't get a school for my daughter, a small non-public school. Our school, wanted to send her to a non-public school, and they were like, but you need to find it. And they only gave me a couple options. And this school was so small at the time that there were like 10 students maybe, and I almost missed it. And then my daughter got there and she said they healed my broken heart.
Oh,
And
I love that.
I would have missed that because of like a glitch. You know what I mean? That was just ridiculous to me. I was like, this is where it has to stop. This is heartbreaking. I couldn't find anything for her, like to your point.
Mhm.
Um, when it's all the information's there, it just needs to be like our community just needs to put in, write the reviews, and now we have a platform. I had to share Dr. Sullivan because I wrote a review. A lot of our PCDH 19 families, and he also um, does a lot of Dravet, and we're ran by we're epilepsy families, and so my daughter also reviewed him. So now she's able to go in now that she's older, and because she tells me, well, mom says the connected parent, like that's not very, I'm not a parent.
Yeah, I'm not a
Can,
parent.
can you change the name? Because I might not want to wear your t-shirts anymore. And I get it. So we might have to do a name change. But basically what I'm saying is like anybody can write a review. Like a
Right.
self-advocate can write a review.
Yeah.
But it's built definitely for caregivers and parents.
Yeah. I love that. She's making you change the name. That's too funny. Well, and I know we've kind of gone over the site and obviously you guys are making improvements as you go along. So, and Julie's really great. If you're having an issue with the site or anything, just email them. Um, and yeah, you're built essentially you're building it together with the community and making it, if you have suggestions, I'm sure you guys are open to hearing things. But I mean, there's so many great little things that you just showed us that I think are new from the last time you kind of showed me the site. And I'm like, it's just amazing. And so I know that this next part, I kind of want you to share about the fundraising opportunity that you're doing with DEEP, which I think is amazing. And yeah, so if you want to share about that and how the community can help DEEP, but also help build this platform, which I think is a great thing.
Yes. Okay. So we'll just use an example of PCDH 19 Alliance because they're one of my favorites. Okay. Because I work there. Just kidding. So let's say I was going to come in and write a review for the Alliance. Something really important to us at the Connected Parent is giving back to the nonprofits that are actually doing this work every day to help our families. And so as we're growing a business, we want to do this in a very mission-based way and really lead with our hearts and see, does that work, right? Can that work in, business and startups and all that stuff can be really competitive and cutthroat and, so because everyone here kind of has a connection to a nonprofit that's helped our families, we decided what if instead of a traditional marketing budget, would it work if we went to these nonprofits that we love and that help our families every day and said, okay, can we get your community to write reviews? Because we could do Instagram ads, we could do all that stuff, but could we rather give money to these nonprofits for reviews? So and DEEP said, you guys said, yes, we would like to try that. And so what we're doing is it's for every review where you use the, the promo code DEEP, DEEP, we will give $5 to DEEP. That's all you have to do is write a review and of something. And then it doesn't have to be a review DEEP. It can be anything. And then we will give $5 to up to 2,000, but actually, because you guys are still in that first initial period, it can be up to 4,000. So if you hit the mark, I think within the first 60 days, if you get to the 2,000, you can get up to 4,000. And
Oh,
if
okay.
you reach that, we'll keep talking.
Mhm.
There's, and see what we can do if it's successful, because our goal is to get reviews. And then hopefully the nonprofits can tap into this as a resource. Because I know I run the Alliance, and it's like having a directory for every single nonprofit training. It's like if we have everything here and we can hashtag everything here and we get these reviews and we can give back funding to nonprofits, that's like the most beautiful business model in my mind.
I agree. I think that's amazing. And, you know, you want parents. I think it's just such a good incentive to, maybe I don't have $5 to give, but I do have a review to give, and it's like something easy, I think, because we all, as disability parents, I think are very opinionated and we know what works for our families and what doesn't. And it's always a pain point, like, oh, we go to this pumpkin patch, like, it's fall season, and you're like, man, it's not accessible. But when you find a place that's amazing, you tell all your friends about it. And so this is just a great place to be, you know, that it's also accessible for the community to easily find something that works for families like ours. So I think it's an amazing, amazing thing. And I just, I hope it keeps growing and it's just super awesome that you just come in here and just even the changes you guys have made, with the different topics you can choose, I think are super awesome too. Like, you know, an education advocate. That's a big thing I see in all the groups, all the Facebook groups, like, oh, I need help with our IEP or our IEP meeting. And everyone's like, no one knows where to go for help. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm like singing, singing your own praise. You're like, yes, I know how awesome it is too. But I
No,
think,
I don't know. I think we have a long way to go, right? Like it's at the still like
right.
this is kind of embarrassing stage. I don't, we're not ready. It's still every time I'm like,
But I think the
oof.
foundation is there and I think it's so great. It's just like you need the reviews to really make it a great, great place and a great site. Because you guys probably have a lot in your area because is most of your team around you?
We are
No, they're
all
kind of all
spread
over.
out.
Okay.
So we're California, we have Tennessee, we have really strong New Jersey, like we have all different states, and we're hiring as well.
Oh,
So just put that out there. We're hiring in different states, and which is another part of our mission is to we hire caregivers. They work remotely.
right.
And everyone starts, I think, at a good starting wage, considering it's essentially data entry.
Hmm.
And there's just room for growth here. And we hire people, like I said, from the community that want to help. So we're small but expanding.
Yeah, no, I love that. Only way to go is up, right?
Yeah, yeah. I
So
wanted to show you this. So we have
yeah.
hashtags for the review. So when you are writing a review, to get that $5 per review, and you can write as many as you want. For Deep, when you go in, you can hashtag. We have a ton, and so if you're from a community where we don't have a hashtag for you yet, or for something, you can just suggest one, and we will suggest. If you suggest
Okay.
one, we add it for you, for sure. And then down here's where you will do this. Oops. And then you'll apply the code.
Okay, great.
And then we will get that money over to Deep so they can keep doing awesome things. And we can build up reviews here for the community.
I love that. Well, I know we have a couple people watching. I don't know if there's any questions. I knew that this would go quick because I know there wasn't, um, it's simple, but I just wanted to get on a webinar and a video and have you walk through the site because I think it's, and to hear it from you personally because this is your little passion, this is your little big passion project. So I think it's so important to hear from the mom who created it. I just think, I don't know. I love disability moms. I think that um, we are obviously changing the world day by day, and all the little things that um, the little things that are so hard for us to navigate. And like you said, even your story about your mom and navigating, help for her that, I can't imagine having a kiddo 20 years ago, 30 years ago, navigating this all without community and without the internet in a big way. So I just think this is such an amazing step forward for the community, and it's just really exciting. And yeah, hopefully we can get lots of reviews with Deep, and not even about the money and not the fundraising aspect, but also just to help build the site. I think it's super cool and a great incentive. So, well, I don't see any questions coming in, but um, if you're watching this later as a recording and you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I'm sure Julie's always there. Oh, okay, Gabi's asking a question. Oh, how do we make sure our donation goes to Deep? So that's using that promo code. So we'll make sure that we share the promo code. The promo code is Deep, all capital. But if you're watching the recording, we'll definitely make sure it's on the website and that it's easily known. But awesome. Well, anything else to add, Julie?
No, I'm really grateful for you guys having me and sharing this and
Us
partnering
too.
with us to help us get reviews and raise some funds for a good cause, of course. So just thanks
Yeah,
for having me. And
of
if anyone
course.
has any questions at any point, always, feel free to reach out to me.
Yeah. And us too. So, but yeah, I think this is gonna be great, and I'm excited to share more and see where it takes us. So, thanks so much, Julie, for joining us, and everyone watching now or later. Thanks so much, and we'll talk soon. Thanks, Julie.
Thanks, Shannon.
Bye.
Bye.